Hello friends, welcome to the NetCodes. Today in this video we'll be speaking about the microservices. We'll be creating one endpoint, but the approach we'll be using here is DB first approach. You might have already been seen how the code first approach works, and lot of resources are also available for code first approach. Right, for DB first approach I haven't seen much material online, so plan to make one video for it. So here is the DB first approach video for microservices. As you know, the code first approach, wherein we'll be creating a model that will be migrating it to the database. Right now, we'll be doing the DB first approach. So we have DB object that will be taking and we'll be binding it with our models, and we'll be using it in our controller and be hosting it as an endpoint. Fine, that would be the approach right now. So we'll be open the new solution here, open a new project. Sorry, create a new project. We'll be going with the first one with the C sharp. We'll give the name as you fetch user API or user API to. I already have another with the same name of API, so I'm taking it in two. You can take anything. Ultimately, we are here to understand how it looks like and how the DB first approach can be implemented into microservices. So we'll be keeping it as .NET 6. We'll give a next. We'll be having a default project with the static values. We'll be not getting into that. Rather, we'll be just getting started with our things. Not now. What dependencies? Okay. So what I'll be doing this, here we have one connection name, TheNetCodes, and this we have a database name CommonApplicationDB. And in this we have users as one of the table. It just have one record, but this should be populated in our endpoint. That would be the expectation. We'll start. So right now we already have one controller. So this is a static controller, whatever is being here, and we'll just putting it on our endpoint, and we'll be getting it as a result of it. Right now, what we'll be doing is as you see here, we have a structure of controller alone. We'll be creating another folder here through the scaffolding method, and the scaffolding is the way wherein we will be connecting to a database and we'll be fetching the models automatically. So I'll be showing you how this command looks like. So this is a scaffolding command wherein the data source is be given, which is the connection, and which is a database. Make sure this database is the same as, according to your requirement, it be different database. The trusted services through microservice entity framework should be installed. This one should be installed. So we'll be installing it very soon. So here I have mentioned this in the output directory where it should be there and what is the context name. Here I've given the DB context, and this is a very long DB context name. I'll be giving a micro as a name for it. So this DB context, we also have the similar naming convention for in the data entity framework. So we'll be keeping it as a different. I'll just take this and paste it. It won't work out because we do not have packages installed. I had copied it. I don't want to get errors. So I'll just go to manage new get package managers. We'll be taking, so all this has been already installed, but I need Entity Framework Core SQL. I'll be taking with the version of 6. Install it. So we also would be needing tools, SQL Framework Core. We'll be installing design as well. Tool. We'll be taking with the version 6. I'll be taking even this also. This is designed. Yeah. Is it installed? Okay, it's installed. Okay, this is also installed. How about .NET Core? Not installed. I'll be installing .NET Core as well. I'm just seeing. Okay, it's running. I'll install this. I'm using PowerPoint. I don't know much video editing. I'm using the PowerPoint. We have this called screen recording. I'm using that to record this video. So we have installed three things, that is core, SQL, tools, or Microsoft Entity Core. As you can see here in dependency, these are the packages we have right now. Okay, so I'll be running that command which I copied it. So here is the scaffolding command. You know this data source. This is my command DB name, and this is a trusted through. Here output directory, and this is the directory name which I will be placing it. What is the context name? This is the context name, and here I'm making it forcefully. I'll give enter. I hope it works good. Yo, build started. It is running this build. It should, before running this command, you should be building it. So once you might also see build started and build failed, and the build failed is because the build here have some errors. You have to resolve this error, and then only you can do the scaffolding command. So that is something, one hint which people may find why it is not running, as I was facing here previous build I was making wherein I was facing the similar issue. Fine, so as you can see here, by running this command, we have been created with one of the folder named EntityModels. Inside this, I have given this DB context name as MicroDB, and it has been created, and it has been created as user. Why is this user coming at? From where is this user coming? This user is coming from the user. So in this common DB object, we everything with the DBO as schema is coming out as a model there. So right now I just have one model and I don't have view. Suppose if I had a view with the DBO schema, that also would have been considered and taken as a model inside that scaffolding command. So this scaffolding command will be getting all the tables and views. All these things will be taken up into this folder, and it will be listed as a model. So every changes you make in the table, from the, suppose tomorrow you might get a requirement saying that I don't need this particular column itself. So what to do at that time? So at that time also you have to run this particular command. So this would be updated. This model would be updated as the table is. So we shouldn't be using directly this model into our controller. Rather, we'll be creating a layers here. So I'll, for the good practice, I'll be using three layers here. I'll be using my business layer, data access layer, and also I'll be having a model folder here. I'll be quickly creating these three folders. Models. There is an issue with the names. Okay. We just understand the logic, how it works. Okay, we created a model. We are creating a data access layer. Access. I don't know the spelling. Ah, damn. I guess there is something wrong with spelling here. I hope that is right. Maybe it is wrong, but still, it's okay. You can ignore the data access layer we have. We are getting a business layer. Very bad at spellings. So now this model should be converted. Okay, we'll create a model. First, we'll be naming it as user, right? This is I'll be creating an endpoint called user. Okay, so I'll be naming it as user. User data would be fine. You can create your class's name based on the architecture reviews. I'll just take the same thing which is present in this. I'll be binding it, and then we can remove and see one test. What will happen if we remove one column or one table? Yeah, column represent these properties, right? So it is this and this is having same thing. We have created models. Now we'll be creating a data access layer. Add a class. I'll be calling it as, what should I call this? User data. Okay. DTO. I don't know why I created DTO. Fine, that would be fine, that name. So in this I'll be creating one interface, and the interface should be looking like I'll be creating a task of list of this guy, user model, user data. I'll be placing that user data as here, right tab it, and I will be naming as get your user data. No, not this name. Give me some better name, guys. User fetch user data. That would be, oh, fetch get user data. Get user data would be fine. So in this we'll be injecting this DB data DB context. I would be reading the other application I have with me. I hope that you won't mind with that. Read only this MicroDB context. MicroDB context. Yes, this is the one. I'll be naming it as context. CTOR tab will be giving me the constructor. I'll be just taking the same thing, copy this, paste it inside this. And here, why is this? What happened to this? Why is my cursor changed? Goodness. Fine. So this dot underscore context is equals to underscore context. So by this I injected. Now I can use this. After taking this, paste this. I'll be implementing this interface. Okay. Here I should be writing async. What's wrong with this guy? Fine, we'll implement it, then we'll see what is that red lines. User data. Await. Underscore context. Dot, what is that? Users, right? Dot to list. Asynchronous. Yes, perfect. Why is it giving me this error? Why not an issue? We'll see that. We'll be returning at now what we'll be doing is we will be using one package. So simply I cannot bind it these two things, right? I have to use some tool. I'll be using that as a mapster. Here I'll be downloading a mapster. I guess this is the name for it. I'll be installing it with the version 6 again. Let it install. Give me a moment. Okay, so Mapset has been installed. Okay, this is installing. Why is this? Okay, that would be resolved very soon. I'll be using this user data. What is wrong with this guy? User data dot adapt. Adapt to what? Adapt to this. I'll just copy paste this. Where is my mouse? Is too far away from me. Just keep it inside this. And it's solved. Did it solve everything? Why is it crying? Show the potential fixes. What did it do? Why? Oh, this is not what is expected. You mean I have to remove this? No. Can someone help me? What is happening here? Why is my tab open? Yes, sync. Did it solve everything? Okay, fine. That's great. So I don't have to implement that auto-generated code. Okay, so where are we now? Uh, so this model and this model is mapped here and it is returning this list. And overall what we have done till now, we have created this with scaffolding. We have created a model as is, and then we created a data access layer which binds this, and we are returning that list. Whatever the data has been coming out from the database, we are returning it to list, and we'll catch that in business layer. Why am I implementing this? Why? Because this is a good standard. We have a coding standard, or you would say the architecture way of doing it. So that would help you to do the business logic inside this, not in controller. Controller won't look messy. That is the only reason I've created. There is no other special logic. We can directly take this data and bind it in controller, not an issue at all. But having a business layer would be good. But I'm just teaching you how. I'm just telling you, not teaching. Am I speaking like a teacher? Fine, not an issue. I'll be creating a class again, and the class would be looking like what should I name this? BLDTO, user BLDTO, user manager. Manager would be fine. Fine. Similarly, I'll be creating the same thing again. First, only I'll be calling it. I'll be creating an interface, user manager. I'll be creating the same thing again and again. Similar thing, I'll be creating it. Fine. And this would be little, I'll be naming it little different to make a difference. I'll be implementing this. So I'll be taking the object of this now. So as you can see here, this is the object of DbContext. Now I'll be taking the context of this the data class, data access layer class. Private read only. What is the name of that? User DTO. I will take IUserDTO. Why it just giving me so many IUserDTO? Okay, I got it. I'll name this also context. I'll be giving CT or tab. I got it. I'll take the same thing, copy, paste inside this dot context. Oh my goodness, is equals to this. Perfect. So I have to implement this method. To do that, I'll just take this, paste this, and give an enter and open close. Give this, and what it was expecting is I'll take this, copy this, paste this here, and give a dot. Make him tell. I'm just telling him that use this is the one which you needed. I'll make it public. Perfect. So this resolved. So here what I'll be doing is I'll be just returning. This is return await, and I'll be doing that. What is that context? Context dot get user data. That's it. Simple. Did it solve? Did it solve? Did it solve? Okay. Okay, solved. Perfect. Did not use a public. Fine. So this is solved. We created business layer also. Amazing. So here is where you will be creating a business layer logic. Before returning it to the controller, we'll be doing all the business logic here, all the for each loop, where clauses, all those um, business logic based on your requirement you'll be doing inside this class, and then you will be returning it to the controller. Now we'll be creating a controller named API, new item with where is API? Where is API? I'll be naming this as user controller. Once I have this, instead of returning this, what is all this? Don't need this. I'll be taking this, using this HTTP get method. Instead the public task list of, should I get that? I'll just copy it from here only. I'll be returning this again, or you can send the action method. We have that, right? Don't understand. Why don't you understand? Fine, no problem. We'll fix that. We will be naming it as fetch user data. If this doesn't work out, we'll be just returning it. Oh, wait. What is that name? What is that name? Context. Oh, we haven't inherited that context. No, sorry, not injected. Again, I have to inject this class similar to this. So CTOR tab. I got this constructor. We have this constructor. Now I'll be injecting that context. Which one? This one, business layer. So again I'll be writing the same thing. I'll just copy paste it. paste this, take this, paste this. So instead of this guy, we'll be using interface of business layer, user manager, come on, where are you? This guy. Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine now. I'll take this, copy this, paste this. So once it is done, I'll be just using this context thought fetch user data. Perfect. Did I solve the issue? Do we need this? We don't need this. We'll remove this. What is all this so much? Okay, am I clear on this controller now? So what I have done is simple. No. Mm, you know this, right? This is the annotation which automatically it takes where we have to write this, and this is where API and the controller name will be this. This would be replaced by this. So once the endpoint is hosted, this how what is this warning? Okay, this warning we forget. You can take. Yes, this is something which I like to tell you is whenever we created that scaffolding command and we got this, where is this hold it inside the config file of this MicroDbContext. Inside this DB context there is some direct data sources being used inside code, and this is a bad standard coding. We shouldn't be writing any commands, any data bit connection strings inside this context class. Instead we have to keep it in some web config and we have to use it. Right now I won't do that. I just want to, I'm running out of time. Maybe 27 minutes is too much. So I'll be just hosting this. I'll just control save, everything is saved. It won't host because I have to do some settings here. Did it host? No, it won't host. We have to write that DB context class. I have to make that inside. I have to tell the application that we are using that, and we also have to tell that we are I have to add these two scopes. Swagger has been opened. Amazing. Users has been there. If I try out, I'll be getting one error. 500. Exactly. Fine. So this is the error you'll be getting it. So to do that, what I'll be doing is, do I have that? I'll just see it in my program files of the different applications so that I don't have to type it and waste the time which you have. One solution program files. Yes, exactly. So these three things I'll be taking it and I'll be changing it according to my project. So here, why it gave some error, right? To solve that error, we are doing this. What we are doing in program file, we are telling that we are using this. Please take it. So this is thing we will be pasting it instead of user BL. So here, business layer, what we had user manager, right? We'll take this, copy this, come back to program, paste this, paste here as well, and remove the I. Also, okay, where is that? TTO, perfect. I'll take this also, paste it here, paste it here, remove this I. We are just adding the scope of these injections. And for DB context, how it should be done? Why is this giving me an error? MicroDB context. I have this right. What is the name of this? MicroDB context. MicroDB context. Okay, solved. We'll just see this. Is it fine with all the connection? It would be the same connection. The data source which we have it in our scaffolding, right, from here to here. This would be same as is in this SQL server. You know, you would have been known this if you would have been using this. Even the uh, code first approach will be telling the program file. Oh, so many things. Here we are setting it to the space option, right? That would be coming here to the program files, and that we have to tell that this is your SQL connection. This is safe. Do the connection. We have to tell that to the application. Okay, I have stopped the connection. I'm running this application again, API again, and I am hoping it is giving me these results which I'm expecting from the database. Write out quickly, quickly. Amazing, amazing. What it is giving? No, it is not giving yet. This is the response from the examples response, but what we need is here. Beautiful. This is the 200 status. Is beautiful for the microservices developers or whoever is developing the microservice. 200 means everything is perfect. So here is the object. Why just we have one object here? Why? Because we only have one record here. So we are just getting here one record. So I'll just quickly tell what all we have done so that we can wrap this session. So we will be creating a microservice from the DB first approach. We already have a controller. On this we'll be okay. I'll be going from where we created. We'll be running one command. We'll be installing these dependencies. These dependencies: Mapster, Microservice Core SQL, Core, and ASP.NET Core. All this has been installed in my packages. Secondly, I ran the command. Once I ran the command, this folder was created. Third, I created a model class. Fourth, I created a data access layer where I connected this model to the model present in our entity model using the Mapster. Here it is. This is the one which created. Now from this data, whatever it is returning, we are returning it to the business layer. Business layer will return into data controller. Controller is returning this data which we can see it in our browser. So very simple. We have exceeded a 30 minutes time. I'll be stopping this session. I hope you have clear with this DB first approach of microservices. Please write down if you have any comments. If you want anything to be made in next video, if you have any blocker not related to microservices, any problem or any problem in .NET development, you can just ping me or you can just write down in the comments. I'll make a video and publish it. Thank you for cooperating with me. Thank you. I hope it was helpful. Thank you.